Hello everyone and welcome back to, what is it, Jaraci Cup 2, the semifinals. Gonna be Semifinals B being played now between moi, Bozocow here, playing as the random this time, against Descara, who's gonna play as Galzian. This is an interesting choice here. This is an interesting choice. If I open up the TXT document, I can kind of explain why. So I picked random first, so Descara knows that I'm gonna be playing random at the get-go here. And he picks Galzian, which he often does when he kind of wants to like practice against a lower skilled player. Maybe, oh, we missed it. Oh. Anyway, maybe he thinks he's got enough practice and now he's ready to play it in a tournament. But with your opponent playing as random here, you've got to have the feeling he's got something cooking on the back burner. You know what I mean? Something's not right here. He doesn't even know what faction I am. He doesn't really know what he should do to fight against me. He's not even building salvagers? What the heck? That's probably just a misclick. Pretty annoying misclick too, because this is actually costing him big time. What's going on here? He's just not making anything. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, I'm such a pleb. Yeah, it's gonna be a Sandscrimmer rush apparently. This is actually a valid strategy. I just forgot. But I think he's doing it wrong. I'm just gonna say this. You actually get more Sandscrimmer production out if you... Oh, do you think he's throwing? Oh, I would be really sad. He was super busy though. That's some context you have to have for this tournament, is that he was like, I don't know what he was doing, but he was working like 120 hours a week or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, if you want to do the Sandscrimmer rush, get the PC first before you get Sandscrimmer fabrication. I think that just works out better. But on the shallows, going for a Sandscrimmer rush against random, you don't even know what faction it is. It could be an AAV rush for all you know. It could be like anything. That's just really risky play. It's quite questionable. I hope he's not throwing, because in some ways that would actually kind of make a bit of sense A-game, based on like the kind of weird builds he's going for here. Oh well. As it happens, I have a very specific build in mind here. I picked, well first he banned Kalash Teeth, and then I banned the Boneyard, and then I picked the Shallows. And I've got a build in mind with that I've been testing a little bit with Roby. Because he mains Coalition, so he's trying to practice Galzian. Scroogum or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, I've been practicing this one a lot with Roby, and my idea is to go for an Assault Cruiser rush. See if I can just, you know, straight kill off some production cruisers or something in the early game. It's a pretty nasty one to go against if you don't know what's happening. Worked against Catharsis in the group stage. I'm hoping it'll work here against Descara in the bracket as well. Map 2 is going to be Torrent Crater, picked by Descara. The map that we know is good for early aggression against random. I mean, I just don't know about that. That's very risky play, you know what I mean? I got a turret set up here, not in the best location actually. My base runner was kind of in the wrong place. Should be putting it up like right there. This position here for turret on the shallows is just like, you can't push there. It's over. But yeah, AAV Feb is done, but I actually want to hold this without AAVs, because if I do, it's going to cost me RUs, and I have a very specific build lined up. I can't spend any RUs really, so I'm going to try to just hold this using LAVs and using the high ground, but I should be able to. I'm on 2 base. My opponent, no refiner mode in sight. I should be completely fine here. Assault Cruiser Fabrications on the queue. Map 3 from Descara, going to be picking Firebase Krill, which is my favorite map, and definitely not his favorite map. So, I think the map choices here and the faction picks and whatever, it's not good at all from Descara. It's very questionable. Really playing to my strengths and to my faction, and playing his off faction at the same time, it's kind of like you're stacking all the cards against you. So, you know, I'm not sure how I think about that, but actually looks like one AV is going to come out on the queue for me. Probably just because there's a lot of Sandskimmers, and I do usually want to get some vision with my LAVs here, see what's going on. Ref mode's on the queue now for Descara, going to finish in about 40 seconds. But if we were to quit the replay here, you'd see I've actually already kind of outstrapped him quite a bit in eco, so definitely going to be falling behind in that regard, but Assault Cruiser Fabrication finishing in about 5 seconds here. Probe wants to see what's going on. He's going to find the production cruiser there. Going to see if the other one's in the other location, probably, or maybe just stalk the army. Yeah, sees the other production cruiser. It takes 1 shot, but that's okay. It's only 10 damage. 'Tis but a scratch. Assault cruisers come out now. And that tells me, I think that he doesn't have refinery mode, that he's coming out here. But at the same time, he's about to tech it. So I could maybe be mind gaming myself a little bit there. I want him to have refinery mode and be setting up bases. That's the best for this strategy. Is there a comment? Oh yeah, well, I already said that, dude. You're a bit late, mate. Hope you appreciate that I said it already. I was going somewhere there. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you're playing a match that you know you're going to win, it makes a lot of sense to practice something that's new for you, you know what I mean? Railfab is done for Descara here at a pretty opportune time. They have to send them to you, but you have to submit your replay in a tournament, so if you want to, you can see like how your opponent is playing, if that's what you're thinking about. Fighter and gunship fabrication on the queue now, so that's going to be my follow-up to the assault cruiser attack, and then I have a sport cruiser coming out to fill up my third base. Gonna fill that one up with salvagers as well, and the assault cruisers on the way. I really don't want them to be seen here though. I think they were. I think Descara saw them just for a second. But if he was in sensors, he might have thought they were sport cruisers, you know what I mean? So it's hard to say what he knows at this point, but the right move for him definitely has got to be make heavy railguns here. He's gonna need that. Probe checking things out here, but finds a bit of anti-air, doesn't want to run afoul of them. He's gonna back away. I wonder what the logic for this turret is. I think it's because I know that I'm not going to defend my base with these assault cruisers, so I just don't want to get caught off guard. Probably should have used the overcharge. You can get the opponent's base just a little bit faster this way. But at this point, he definitely knows what's going on. He knows that it's assault cruisers. Question is, what is he going to do about it? Heavy rails is good here, right? Because you have no money. Because you can obviously, you know, kill assault cruisers pretty quickly, even in patch. But question is, can you stop them from getting to this hill? That's all they need to do. Is just get to that hill and they're good, but I'm clearly a little bit afraid of his rails there. I'm going to back away. That's probably wise. I think one of them would have died for sure already. And I need two of them if I'm going to pop off a production cruiser, so... fighter and gunship tech is done here. I'm just kind of idling, which is a little awkward. You can see I'm just starting to float a lot and a lot. Here we go. So strike fighter's on the queue now. Attack bomber fab is going to be on the queue as well. And maybe I'm just going to back away with these. Oh, I thought I had done really well in this game, but maybe I'm just being silly. Yeah, so if I'd used overcharge, I'd be there a couple seconds earlier. I maybe could have actually gotten in there and then done the strategy. What it is, of course, if you haven't seen this before, is basically just that you get your assault cruisers here, where they have range on both of the bases, and then you use the attack missile barrage from both of them, and just down goes the production cruiser and all of the salvagers. It's nasty. And if your opponent doesn't know what's coming, it's unholdable too, because he won't see them until they're like there or something. They move up, and then game over. But as you can see, if your opponent goes for rails, it is still pretty hard to stop them. However, I've got a thing for that. If I can just kill the railguns with my strike fighters here, the game is still on. So. This guy just kind of sitting here taking it. He's like, take me now, I'm ready. Strike fighters are out. Assault cruiser is going to move up. Again, overcharge, good idea here, but it's not going to be used, I guess. I'm really excited about this build, but I feel like I'm giving it a bad showing here. Because it's not really being incredibly effective in this game. I want to be building a second bomber, by the way. I feel like my economy choices or my macro choices are a little bit odd here. Yeah, there we go. And then it looks like a couple AVs on the queue, just stopping these sand screamers from doing whatever they want. Oh, looks like overcharge was used, actually. These heavy rails get behind a dune, so they're not going to be able to contribute to the fight here either. So this guy will actually be able to get his missiles off. And this one should too, eh? Oh yeah, here comes a bomber. Oh, this is good too. And now he can just use overcharge. Yeah, looks like that's what was used. Don't stand still. And production cruiser will go down. Over here we got an AV just smoking sport cruiser. There was quite a bit of damage put down on the map, but the arrows here, the AVs here, this shouldn't go anywhere really. One assault cruiser does get picked off. Probably by virtue of the fact that it didn't use the missile barrage, it had to overcharge and drive in there, but we did kill a production cruiser for that, which is nice. Artillery's on the queue now. That's kind of how I like to follow this one up. Gonna expand onto 4 base now, gonna replace that assault cruiser I lost because that is a very nice unit. Goes nicely with this kind of composition here where I'm gonna kind of rely on cruisers and then air. And my opponent has to get anti-air very quickly now. You can see he's already building it, but one production cruiser is dead. He's only got 1 base production here. And the bombers, and yeah, they're ready to launch already, so... Ready already. It's one of those things I always say in English, then I'm just like, that sounded stupid after I say it. Just a bit more punishment being dealt out here. A couple more rails getting killed. Looks like I'm gonna just bomb this, this missile ship here. I guess the idea there is that, you know, you get rid of the anti-air and then you can come in for the next pass later, but there actually is another one. In fact, it will claim a kill. But all those rails just went down, there's only 1 left, and if descara is building more missile ships, well, he's not ready for the assault cruiser. It's just gonna come back, and he'll use attack missiles again, bomb out the eco. And this is still looking very good for me. Artillery is on the queue now. I do like artillery. This bomber maybe will die. Could be microed a bit. And he's gonna get out of there, actually. Bombers, very survivable units. This is what makes them oppressive if your opponent is not ready for them. Very good missile barrages there. Gonna kill off this assault cruiser for sure, right? Yeah, it will go down. Oh, that gives a lot of veterancy. Nice job, Matt. Nice job. Probably smoke one of me deployed here. But yeah, these AVs just kind of being thrown away. Not going to get anything done there, but it is kind of good to keep the pressure up, though. I know my opponent can't really reproduce... Oh, whoa. Burn! I know he can't really reproduce his army very quickly, so if I can just slow him down, that's kind of enough for me. Oh, nice shot. Nice shot, Matt. That's not Matt. If that was Matt, he would have hit him. In fact, I bet Matt killed that guy, too. Matt's a freaking baller. Air is launching once again. Now, there is anti-air still, but it can be overwhelmed if we want. Now we got 2 artillery cruisers on the field, another assault cruiser is still here. And we're going to be on 4 base, so this is very good economy for us. Teching rails too. Probably I got that for the production upgrade, but I can still use them. And I'm going to be starting to tech battlecruiser fabrication, getting power reserves up. I think the only thing missing here really is artifacts, but yeah. Oh, and you know I've got money for it too, so I should probably start making some base builders. I got the field control, but this is still looking very good for me. And yeah, this big air blob here, it could still do damage if it wanted to. Like, we could just run in, kill a production cruiser, back away, but we would lose a lot of guys for it, so I don't know. Might not be worth it. They can definitely be used for defense, that's for sure. Actually, something I noticed after the game is that I told this guy to, like, disable his auto-targeting because I didn't like him, you know, shooting my guys like this. But I don't think I ever turned it back on, so he just, like, doesn't ever shoot any units, I'm pretty sure. Which is a little sad. Yeah, here comes the air blob. It might just go for the main, actually. No, it's gonna go for this production cruiser here. Probably will kill it, too. Oh, you joke! Oh yeah, I remember this. I was like, no, you're not getting out. But this is kind of maybe a throw move here because he's going to kill all of these areas for sure. Like, there's no way they'll get out. Especially if I have them blobbed like that. And then just don't even micro them on their way out. I don't think that was really worth it to get that production cruiser, but I did get it at least, so. I'm not really the best air player, if you hadn't noticed that already. Yeah, I thought so too, for sure. I mean, we hit it with a bunch of missiles, and then both of the bombers landed on it, but didn't die. Inconceivable! I'm actually really worried here that he'll come in and like just kill these artillery cruisers. There's not really any defense here. That's why I'm barraging there, but he chooses not to, so we're kind of safe. That was definitely a moment that I could maybe have lost something big, though. But yeah, I think you'll agree, if I still had the air units, that'd be really nice. They could be my defense against Strikecraft instead. They could do a lot of things for me. This guy is just not going to shoot at anyone else this game. Kind of a choke. Battle cruisers are on the queue now. We're going to move out with the carrier powers. Our 3 is finishing, so that we're about ready for our power play. We do actually have quite a lot of rails with no mag accelerator, but that's going to be okay. We don't really want to invest into them yet. Yeah, this should be a pretty unholdable power play, I'd say. I've slowed my opponent down so much that I have 2 artillery cruisers, and the carrier power is going to be a big deal. I'm on 4 base, stuff like that. I really think, with the way that this game's going, I could be way further ahead at this point, but I'm still ahead. Enough that I should be able to win, unless I choke. Now, it's me, so, you know, chances of that are pretty high, but... Artillery, assault cruiser is just kind of holding the flank. There's one with the army? No, there's not, but the carrier, it kind of acts as like a big assault cruiser, you know, so... So we're going to be fine there. We're not going to take too much damage by sand skimmers. Looks like we actually are going to take mag accelerator. I guess that makes sense. Huge CU float here, but I'm actually pretty much okay with that. I kind of like floating CUs. Maybe I'm just weird that way, but... Uh-oh, missile barrage here. Descara trying to split, and he does pretty well, I think, but it's going to land on those missile ships pretty nicely. Rail war commences here, and I think Descara's got the armor, so he should win that one if it goes just straight, but I have artillery. That's what I need to kind of mobilize to get this fight working. Actually, I think the carrier could just move forward here, but I am so afraid of throwing because I do it so much that I'm worried about it, so I don't want to just drive forward with the carrier. Gonna force a little rotation here to try and get the rails out in the front line. Powers are 4 on the way, the accelerator is done, and we'll get an artifact extraction out. And the whole army gonna converge now, so everything on my side of the field just come together right here. The assault cruisers I'm kind of throwing away. If they can just get through and break the lines, then it's gonna be okay for me, even if they all die, so... That's definitely the idea there. Battle cruisers are here doing damage to the carrier. One assault cruiser, like I said, he does get through, he breaks the line. Yeah, battle cruisers are up on top of my carrier now. We have the artillery here too. Barraging here, really could just do precision barrages and I think I would end the game right there, but that is a-okay, I'm sure you would agree. And this game should be over. If not, we're definitely going to be holding off at the 3rd base. Won't go far off that. I didn't see, was that a carrier death or did it just surrender? I honestly can't tell. And that will be Descara dead. So game 1 goes my way. Not as clean as it should have, but it does. I think the build is really solid. I just need to get a little bit better on the execution side. A-Game's not so convinced. I tried it against him one time and it just like completely flopped, but... Whoops. Do not load the wrong replay, that takes so long. Game 2 here, going to be Torn Crater. Now again, I said this was a bad choice because I'm playing as random. He doesn't know what I'm going to do. I hold to that. I think this is not wise. But we'll see. Maybe he's got something in mind. After all, he is Galzian, you know, typically thought of as the aggressive faction. I'm random. I could roll, you know, Coalition or something that's not usually as good for the early attacking, and then maybe he can get something done there. But I still think this is just kind of a... This is a tricky pick for him because you never know what I'm gonna roll, and it is gonna be Conef. I'm sure when I saw this, I was like, yes, because that's obviously gonna be good for me. Smoke him if you got him. Gonna be a big sort of retirement for me. 2 being set up here. I mentioned this on an earlier video, I think, from the Jaraci Cup, but this I think is actually the wrong position for the production cruiser. I think it ought to be there. I've started doing that these days. And I think my build here is going to be 2 PC assault ship, but I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. It's been a while. Oh man, I'm really struggling with the quick drops. Look at that. Okay, there we go. As for Descara, I think he's throwing a... It is, man. Now that I know that that's a thing, everything has changed. I love double tap you. Aggressive scanner comes out here. The salvager positions are somewhat obfuscated. For example, he'll have no idea why this guy's not even mining at all. But he'll know I'm doing some kind of quick dropping shenaniganry, so... He sees no base burner either. I think he probably knows it's 2 PC, but we'll have to see. What's the build for Descara? It looks like 2 went on to RUs first and then switched to the CU quick drop, and then these 2 were produced later. And I'm not sure what that would signify, but probably the assault ship first idea. Scanner does go down, but it got its information. I think that's probably worth it. Of course, you don't pay anything for that scanner, so pretty easy to justify. Now, is it going to be rails or assault ships? I think the way I'm saving up RUs, it's got to be rails, actually. Which is interesting. I usually do assault ship plays. Whoa! As I take a sip on my drink. Yum. So how does a 2PC railgun push stack up to a 2PC assault ship push, which apparently is what he's doing? I was about to say 1, but then I saw this guy pop out. That's fortunate timing. Should stack up pretty nicely, eh? But the question is, why is he so late? I feel like his production cruiser should have been out already. I don't know if I saw it, though. I mean, I saw it, but I don't know if I knew that there were 2 of them. I'm pretty sure I didn't catch that information. Fleet cap 45 coming out for both players, but it's a little bit later for descara. I imagine he's fleet capped right now, but it's about to clear, yeah. And then we'll be starting a bit of a skimmer war here, but the thing is, I'm going for sort of a ninja PC style here, so I don't want to build off of this one. I want him to know, look, he doesn't have that many sand skimmers. And then that makes him think, like, well, maybe that means he's actually only got 1 PC here. Maybe I read it wrong. Just kind of confuse him that way, you know what I mean? And if all goes well, that should prompt him to just try to beat me using sand skimmers, or like just not really worry about this production cruiser over here, and I should be able to get some mega damage done when I pop in from the sidelines. That's the idea. You can see assault railguns on the queue there. I'm not going to build him here because I don't want him to know. He doesn't have any scouting on my carrier, so if I can hide this for as long as possible, the damage that I do just goes up and up and up. A-game just like, no, you're wrong, man. I think it is a little weird from descara. Like, he should have been faster. He should be attacking, right? He should be around here. But I've done this kind of thing a lot against, yeah, I agree with you. But I've done this kind of thing, you know, even in pretty top-level play, and it works. Like, descara is not top-level play anymore. I do this kind of stuff against Sparrow, you know, or against Garmlater and whatever. And if your opponent doesn't sense that that production cruiser is coming, you're in some serious trouble. I've got assault rails here. I would have done heavies and tried to kill his carrier, but I know he's got the sandskimmer count. I don't really want to lose them that way. But now that the game is up, I can make heavy railguns from here too, so I'm going to use that to stem the assault ships. And this should be a really nasty push here. Yeah, just what descara is doing doesn't make sense. I would agree, He's too late on everything. It's not coming out fast enough. There's a heavy rail here. I can take this fight, yeah. Looks like I'll stick around. I'm actually going to try to kill this guy using the sand skimmers, which I think is fair. Keeps the vision on him. You can see I didn't lose anyone. These guys will heal back up. The problem is I do that kind of stuff when I'm playing Coalition, and it's not good. Assault Rail's going to come back, maybe to try to... How would you say? Try and, like, punish the assault ships, but this is a little bit risky, because we're going to get jumped on by LAVs now. And if this production cruiser goes down, things are problematic. We may be witnessing a bozo throw here. But no, descara's not going to chase it. I think he should have, but... We do have LAV sand skimmers coming up to support. These guys are on a pretty nice high ground as well, so maybe it's best for him that he retreats, but I think there was maybe a window that he could have done some damage there, but this is great. I don't really know how he snuck these in. I was just being a little bit careless. Refining mode is on the way, by the way. I'm trying to get this guy back home. I'm trying to get this guy set up, so this is not really the kind of delay that I want, but I do have a heavy railgun. He's going to come back home, see what he can do to set things up. Clear out those assault ships and get us back on the 2-base. At any rate, if it comes to, you know, denying 2-base, I definitely have the advantage there, because my force beats his, unless there's some positional failure. And I've thought about this a couple times. When it's sand skimmers versus sand skimmers and assault railguns, you want the assault railguns to stay back, not behind a hill usually. Uh-oh, bozo throw incoming. He doesn't chase, though. He backs away. I mean, he definitely could do some damage here. I'm probably in sensors. I don't see that hill. That's really bad of me. But yeah, you want the assault railguns in the back and the sand skimmers up in the front, because these guys can do their damage best if they're being screened. One of them going to go down here a little bit sloppily, but that's okay. Probably assault ships do get cleaned up, so we're going to be on 3-base in just a moment here. In fact, I probably ought to move the carrier there and then just move this guy here. I think that's probably the fastest way to do it, but hard to say. I'm canceling Assault Railguns, and then, yeah, that's weird. Did you see that? I was like, I need Assaults. No, I need Assaults. This Assault Chip here, not really going to contribute to this fight. Of course, he is just getting hammered down by a Railgun. We're going to be under the carrier pretty soon as well, so that's going to be problems also. And I think descara at this point, kind of like what we saw against Catharsis. Yeah, well, I think the reason A-game is because he's pretty sure he's going to lose if he doesn't win this fight here. If he hadn't been staying aggro, I would have been on his second base being super annoying, right? If he had been, like, getting Refinery Mode instead. And to be fair, I think I really could have done this a lot better, too. Like, I probably should have had more units out there. And then, you know, really committed to holding second and then make heavier so I can, like, siege him off of his main, but... At any rate, like, he definitely understands at this point, though, that if he doesn't do damage right now, he's gonna lose, and so this actually is fine, I think. Even though it's probably not gonna work. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this isn't gonna work, but he has to do it. It's Desperado, right? And besides, I mean, this is actually going kind of surprisingly okay for him, right? He's in my base here, so... Oh, I actually teched Honor Guards, by the way. I was planning, like, on the late game. I didn't think he was gonna push me like this, but... Yeah, he is. I am always impressed by how he uses his soul chips. I don't need his heavy railgun. Yeah, I cancel that one. Question is, do I make assault railguns here, or do I make sand skimmers? Because assault railguns work better in numbers, but I'm not really gonna get those anytime soon, am I? Still though, the sand skimmer count from descara is thinning here, although it'll take a long time for this fight to resolve, but... Yeah, they could have been. It was a little bit lazy for me. I think I kind of just figured I had the game in the bag, and then I tried my best to throw, you know what I mean? But we do have this skimmer blob getting taken out here. There's a heavy railgun back. No, that's an assault, but... This assault chip will go down pretty much insta. We're going to lose the sand skimmers, and then descara really just on 2 DCs, and that's it, and they're just going to get killed, so... I think it's around this point he understands this game is probably over, and he'll choose to surrender. No easy task. He's definitely one of those guys I'm always a little bit afraid of, you know. I hope he wasn't throwing this series because he knew he couldn't play the finals, but... Thank you, A-Game, thank you. Definitely well played to descara too. That looks like it's gonna drop and just smack in the ground there, I don't know. That must be some pretty strong jets there. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the series. Thanks for tuning in if you watched live, and I'll catch you guys next time.